El Despoblado, the uninhabited land. Texas's gift to the nation. Big Bend National Park. With just 6 inches of rain a year and temperatures of over 100 degrees in the summer, Big Bend National Park can be a tough and inhospitable place. Despite this, it's well worth a visit. The park has over 180 miles of unpaved roads with 116 backcountry campsites. There are hundreds of things to see with interesting and unique plants, varying terrain, and a surprisingly rich history. Mid-December, we packed up the Tacoma and the 4Runner and made the trip south to Texas. We are at Big Bend National Park in Texas, and it is beautiful here. Beautiful both in terms of the scenery, like what we've got going on around us, and the weather. You can see I'm in a t-shirt. It is really nice here. It's December 20th, about 5:30 in the evening, and it's I'd say it's about 75 degrees. It's actually kind of hot, and it's a really nice change from Kentucky winter, where it was about freezing when we left and kind of rainy. So really, really nice to be down here. With me, we've got Andreas and his daughter camping in a Tacoma, and then with me in the 4Runner is Elizabeth. And I'd say we're pretty much in the center of Big Bend at Glen Campground, and over kind of in that direction you may see a tree behind me. That's the actual springs. And let's say it's about like a 45 minute drive on the unpaved roads to get here, and then tomorrow heading off in the opposite direction for more unpaved roads. And actually these ones are unmaintained up that way, so it should be fun. When we reached pavement, we went south towards a scenic hike along the Rio Grande River. The river marks the border between the USA and Mexico, and it's not uncommon to see souvenirs left for sale along the banks by visiting Mexicans. Obviously, it's illegal for them to cross the border, but it's also illegal to buy from them.
The hike along the river was hot even in December, so we stopped for a quick swim. While we were there, we watched someone casually cross the river, drop off some walking sticks to sell, and then ride his horse back across to Mexico. Just north of the river is Old Ore Road. As you drive the road, you can't help but notice the grave of Juan de Leon. Juan was found dead on the roadside with a single gunshot wound. Unfortunately, his body had started to decompose in the summer sun, so he was buried where he lay. Skirmishes and raiding bandits were not uncommon for the area, but it was never established who killed him or why. Further up the road is the hike to Ernst Tanaja. The hike is short and easy, but the canyon along the trail contains incredible swirled striations of rock. The sun was getting low as we started the long drive back to camp, and we were treated to an incredible sunset that colored the entire sky.
It has become clear that we really underestimated Big Bend National Park. First of all, we underestimated just the beauty of this place. Another thing that we underestimated is just the scale of this park. It is enormous, and there are hundreds of miles of unpaved roads. And a couple of tips for anyone who's thinking about coming down here and checking it out themselves. First of all, budget more than 2 days. That's what we originally had. We're going to actually go book another campsite for tonight hopefully on the other end of the park. And then second of all, come in winter. It's really nice. I'd imagine it's quite unpleasant in the summer. They said it's over 100 degrees sometimes. So today we are going to do, this is Black Gap, and this is one of the Jeep Badge of Honor trails. We're going to check it out. It actually takes us further into the park, further away from some of the things we want to see and some of the hikes we want to do today. But we haven't got out of two-wheel drive yet. So if we can get into four-wheel drive, if it's some fun, then we'll do the whole trail. If not, we'll turn around and we'll come back out because we've got more we want to see.
That's the doctor's signature right here.
What'd you have done?
ACL replacement and a meniscus repair. So, still swollen, but
You decided after that it'd be a good idea to come out to a national park and hike?
I haven't done much hiking. I don't know if you have that on video, but...
I do.
Oh.
Black Gap Road was not difficult, but it was rough enough to be fun. Close to the end of the road is the Mariscal Mine, where we stopped for lunch. With the hot sun beating down, we set up our awnings. After all the effort of putting his awning up, I couldn't help but laugh at the tiny patch of shade that Andreas had.
Good old ass shade!
Shut up.
You get room for one.
Mariscal Mine was a quicksilver mine that operated from 1900 to 1943, and in that time it extracted a quarter of all of the mercury produced in the United States. At its peak, up to 40 people were employed by the mine, most of them Mexican immigrants who had crossed the border to escape the revolution. Unfortunately, life was not much better for them. The work was tough, hot, poorly paid, and the miners often suffered the effects of prolonged exposure to mercury.
So we're just airing up now. We're on the east side of the river road that goes along the southern end of the park, basically along the Mexican border. And we're airing up because we've got quite a lot of pavement now. We plan on going around the north side of the park on all of the paved roads via the Chisos Mountains. And it's about 65 miles of pavement between here and the west side of the park, where we're going to try and find a place to camp tonight.
On our final morning in Big Bend, we woke up on the west side of the park, just a few miles from Santa Elena Canyon. Join us next time as we head north to New Mexico. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it.
Hey, Andreas, what did you think of that? What do you think of my Spanish?
No creo que tienes posibilidades de hacerlo bien. Ya lo intentamos por mucho tiempo y realmente no hay esperanza. Mejor a ver si lo grabo yo o si lo dices, no sé, ya me cansé de practicar. Está muy mal.
What? What?
The coach is throwing in the towel. El despoblado.
El despoblado.
Despoblado.